Welcome to Corner Office. I'm Mayor Nancy Stevens. As you can see, I'm flying solo this month. Dan Ginden has the day off, but I have a packed show for you today with 3 different guests. I'm going to start off with George Wampum, the Labor Day Parade Director. Hi, George.
Hi,
How are you?
Nancy. I'm fine, thank you.
Well, it's that time of year.
It is.
So I want to talk a little bit about the parade. First of all, how many years have you been the parade director?
This is my 28th parade as director.
Wow, and you were involved prior to that?
And before that, I did some volunteer work, yes. So I've
20
been around a long time with it.
That's fantastic. And you really enjoy it?
I do. I meet a lot of wonderful people. It's a source of real personal accomplishment and satisfaction every year, and yeah, I enjoy it.
It's wonderful. What are some of the things we'll be seeing in this year's parade?
Well, we're going to have a lot of the old favorites back again this year. You'll be seeing the great Hollowmore horses. Actually, we have a new horse unit coming into the parade this year, a group of Mexican cowboys.
Really?
Yeah, they have a fancy name, which I really can't pronounce for you, but trust me, they're Mexican cowboys, and they'll be very colorful and decorative.
Oh, that's great.
We'll have of course, the military back again, and we certainly want to use the parade this year as a welcome home to some of our National Guard people who just returned within the last couple of months from Iraq, and I'm hoping everybody will give them a nice welcome home applause as they come down the street.
Our military units always get a very warm welcome.
They do.
It really is great. The crowds really welcome them, and
very
I think
appreciative.
the kids, the younger kids, enjoy seeing the equipment and everything. But the older people enjoy the adults and enjoy being able to show their respect for the men and women that serve this country.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's great.
Marlborough is very unique in that regard.
We have such a great reputation for the parade, you know, in the state of Massachusetts and in New England. It's something that people know Marlborough for. We have one of the largest, if not the largest, Labor Day parade in all of Massachusetts. What do you attribute that to? Our reputation, other than yourself being the world's greatest parade director, what do you attribute that reputation
Well,
to?
I attribute it to several things. First of all, we have a good, sound, strong organization. I have a great group of volunteers that come out every year and help. They know what they're doing. They treat the parade performers with respect, and I might add very firmly, they know exactly what needs to be done. I think the fact that the city officials themselves stand behind the parade every year, that signals to our sponsors that this is something important and something that will happen. And so they're willing to get behind it financially, and that obviously contributes to our ability to go out and find real quality units. And so all those things kind of come together.
It's I mean, it's such a great day, and it's such, you know, such a source of pride for this city. I know that personally, I have been in the parade, I think, I'm counting back maybe 16 years, because as a PTO president at Richer and Bigelow Schools, we always had the floats, and you know, years with Rotary, and then as an elected official have been in the parade for, this will be, I think, my 8th parade as an elected official, or 9th parade as an elected official, and always have enjoyed seeing the city at its finest. So many people come together. It's your organization, the police department. I mean, it's the one day of the year where we have the entire police department is on duty. Every officer,
That's
you
right.
know, every command officer, the entire force is together. You know, our DPW does a great job of getting the roadway, the parade route ready, and you know, putting up the sawhorses and making sure that the parade route is, you know, in pristine condition. So. And then the elected officials that, you know, come together, as you said, to support it at budget time. I think it really is it's one of those things that everybody comes together, and it is such a great source of pride.
They do,
really
and
is.
I'm glad you mentioned the police and the DPW and the firemen.
I didn't mention fire. I apologize. Yeah, the fire department.
They're very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just last week, we all met at the police station, planned out all our security details for the parade, and one of our concerns, of course, is keeping everybody safe during the parade, both performers and the crowd.
Yep.
And so we put a lot of effort into that, and it just goes off so nicely.
It does. You know what? And I think one of the things that I want to thank you for is you make the parade look effortless. It's the cooperation between the organization that you have and the cooperation between the city departments that I think people come and show up and look and say, what a flawless effort to get this whole thing going. Yet you start planning for the parade the day after the parade for the following year.
Yeah.
And all the preparation that goes into with our city departments, making sure again that the roadways are in good shape, because we don't want anybody to have an accident on a roadway. If there's a pothole, we make sure the parade route is great, and the fire department making sure that again everybody's safe, and the police department directing traffic. I mean, closing down the parade route creates a traffic nightmare in this city, and for people coming in that don't know that, trying to come through the city and all of a sudden show up and we've got detours all over the place. It's
and by the way, the police will be publishing all the street closings sometime this week.
Great. So that'll give people an opportunity.
So people should look for it and be aware.
Let's talk about this year's theme. Every year you come up with a great theme. This year is Memorable Moments. And what's the significance of the theme?
Well, when I was trying to think of an idea for the theme, I got to thinking about my own memorable moments over the years. I plan to retire after this parade.
And I'm not talking about that with you right now. It's something I've been avoiding. Just for the record, you told me that this would be your last parade, and I have, as I am known to do, when I don't like some news, I just ignore it and hope it'll go away. So I was kind of hoping that maybe the adrenaline of the day would say, I've got one more parade in me.
Well, that has happened the last several years.
I know, and I keep hoping that you keep telling me it's your last parade, that I'm hoping that we get through this one.
I have been training Ed Thurber.
I know. This is the first year you've actually been training your successor, which has me concerned, because now I think that you're really serious with me this time.
Well, to get back to the theme also fits very nicely with who we chose to be our Grand Marshal this year. We've chosen Lisa Braccia. Lisa is actually a resident of Southborough who tells me she comes to the parade every year for quite a long time. But more important, Lisa has produced a great many memorable moments for Marlboro men and women who are serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. She's organized that effort and has been doing it now for 3 or 4 years, and a lot of our young people are really benefiting from her effort, and I thought it was time that maybe we all say thank you to her.
That's fantastic. I think as we talked earlier about the pride for the men and women that serve this country, to then honor as our Grand Marshal someone who epitomizes the support of our men and women in the armed services. I'm really glad about the choice for the Grand Marshal.
Yeah, she's a great person.
We only have a few minutes. I want to wrap up, but I want to talk just some logistics about the parade. What time does the parade step off? How long's the parade route?
All right. The parade steps off at 12 noon on Labor Day, September the 1st. And I know that's really early for everybody this year, but September 1st is the day. The parade route is relatively short. It's 1.7 miles. And it's an easy 1.7 miles.
You say that because you stand at the beginning. As somebody who the last 2 years walked it twice, it's not that short.
Anybody can walk 1.5 miles.
I know, but when you have to go back and start all over again.
Okay.
So 1.7 miles, and how long do you anticipate the parade's going to be in terms of time?
The parade starts at 12 noon. It'll finish up at about 3 o'clock in the vicinity of the American Legion.
That's perfect. Any weather forecast yet?
And of course, the parade route is the same as it's
always
always
been.
been. Okay, we take it from west to east and try to include the entire city in our parade route.
And
And
about
the weather-
now, you're on the weather sites all the time right now. And
Actually, I don't even worry about the weather because I can't do anything about it except deal with it. I'll find out the night before what the weather is going to be, and then we'll deal with it.
okay, I've already looked because I always want to know how the weather's going to be. I think it's going to. What I saw today was low 80s and sunshine.
Great,
Perfect.
that's exactly what I ordered.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we need to wrap this up. I want to thank
Okay.
you so much for everything that you do. And, you know, I joked that you have told me that this will be your last parade, but you did tell me that last year. And
I did.
And
yeah.
we were able to get you to do one more. So I seriously was hoping that maybe one more. But on behalf of everyone in the city, thank you so much for the wonderful job that you do. I think the reputation of this parade really is your reputation, and you've done such a fantastic job, so thank you.
Well, thank you. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you. We're going to take a short break, then we're going to come back and talk about the Marlboro Cultural Council. You're watching Corner Office.
Hi, this is firefighter Mark Asenko. Do you know what to do if your house is on fire?
When the smoke detector sounds, this is what you must do. Test the doors with the back of your hand. If the door is warm, use an alternate escape route. If the door is not warm, then you may leave. Here are some things that you must do if you are unable to leave. Stay calm and take steps to protect yourself. Stuff the cracks around the door with towels or blankets. Wait at a window and signal for help by yelling.
So remember, be smart, be aware.
Be fire safe.
Welcome back. My second guest today is actually my executive secretary, Diane Halper, but she's here in a different role today, and that's chair of the Marlboro Cultural Council. Hi, Di.
Right. Hi, how are you?
Good. This is different. We're talking about something else. You are the chair of the Marlboro Cultural Council. Tell me a little bit about the Cultural Council and how long you've been on.
I've been on the council for, this is my second two-year term. I've been chair for that period of time. We presently have 8 members. We had only 4, but we were able to get a few more people on board to help us out. So we now do have 8 members on the board.
That's great. Now, tell me, where does the funding come from, the money come from for the Cultural Council?
The Cultural Council is funded through the state, through the Massachusetts Cultural Council. They appropriate money to all the different communities. They have a set schedule on how they do that. I'm not really sure how much we get in comparison to how many people we have. Our amounts have been anywhere between $7,000 and $9,000. Last year we had $8,900 that was appropriated to Marlboro. We got 31 applications last year. Sounds like a lot of money, but when you're talking about a lot of these programs, they're very expensive. And we try to follow certain regulations, so it kind of cuts down our parameters as to how much
31
money.
applications
We had
last year.
31 applications last year.
Let's talk about the type of programs, not only that you do fund, but just kind of give me an idea of what type of programs the applicants submit for what type of programs.
What we really try to do, we do have guidelines that have to be followed. So each application gets looked over very carefully by the whole committee. We try to accommodate as many diverse groups as we can. We appropriate money for applicants such as the library. They have a concert series, which reaches out to a large population. The Historical Society last year had a couple of programs, and we also funded something so that they could have programs on the local cable station, our local cable station, so that a lot of people who can't go out during the winter, mainly, a lot of the seniors, they can follow these programs through the whole winter. So it is getting out to a large audience. Last year we did something a little bit different. The Discovery Museum in Acton approached us and asked us for funds. And what they did is they had a free weekend for Marlboro residents. Now, what they were doing is trying to promote their facility, but they were also giving Marlboro residents, and it was very, very well advertised, that Marlboro residents could go for free. So they said their attendance was very, very high. They were very pleased. So that was a little different. And one of the major things that we do fund also is the schools. They have cultural programs, and a lot of the schools get together and they combine it. So it's not just for one school. They try to get all fourth graders, and it's all educational programs. So all of our schools do apply, and we do fund them for their extracurricular programs that they do for the students through their PTO. We don't full fund any applicant. Every applicant has to have other funding also.
Well, as a former PTO president, having tried to get the money for it, it's always been great to have the money available to try to offset the costs associated with these programs. Because a lot of times for our students, and you talked about the seniors, this may be the only opportunity because of economics to be able to get out to programs. If anybody wants information on the program, they can contact you here at the office.
Yes, they can call the mayor's office. We do have applications, and they can go to Mass Cultural. Let me just check. I want to make sure I give you the right email. It's massculturalcouncil.org. You can get an application online. They can call here at 508-460-3770 for our guidelines. And also, we would like to ask the viewers, we are required by the state to ask for suggestions from the community. And if anyone has any suggestions on how better we can distribute our money, if there are other suggestions that they have for programs and so forth, to please give me a call here at the mayor's office. We'd like to take their suggestions so we can report to the state and relook at the way we are doing things to make it better.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Di, for being
You're
with
welcome.
me today. I appreciate it. You had such a long walk to come in here
I
to
know.
come on the program today. You're watching Corner Office. I'm Mayor Nancy Stevens. We're going to take a short break and come back with my third and final guest.
Obesity in America is at an epidemic level. During the last 30 years, the rate of childhood obesity has tripled.
Childhood obesity involves much more than simply being overweight.
So what can we do to help our children?
Plan family exercise. Take the kids to the park.
We can limit the snack or junk foods kept in our homes.
Go for a family walk or bike ride, or simply throw the ball around the backyard.
Together, we can make a difference in the health and well-being of our children.
Welcome back. My third and final guest today is Tony Tredella, who is our Principal Assessor for the City of Marlboro. Welcome, Mr. T.
Thank you very much.
It's great to have you here. Now we go from the parade to the Cultural Council, and we're going to talk about values. What a way to wrap up a show.
You know, it's on everybody's mind.
I know, and we wanted to get this information out. We talked about having you on so we could talk about it. The city has been going through a revaluation program.
That's right.
And I think some people are familiar with it, some people aren't. Let's talk a little bit about the revaluation program and what's going to happen this fall.
Very good. This is the 3-year recertification program for the state. All of our values and all of our techniques and statistics have to be run through their statistical requirements and analysis to make sure that we're doing things fairly for everybody. We have accurate information. We're applying the right sales numbers to each type of property, things like that. It's a very extensive process.
And this is what's determined, just to back up a little bit. The valuation of your home or your property is what determines your taxes. The tax rate is set, but this determines, based on your value, what your tax bill is going to be.
Yes, let me just correct that a little bit. Okay. You determine the taxes. I determine how much is paid by each person.
Yes, okay.
There's a difference there. But you're exactly right.
Right.
The assessment is the thing that we have to use to make sure that, complying with the law, that we're at a percentage of market value, 100% of value as of a certain date, give or take a certain amount, and I'll mention that in a minute, so that everybody who has the same type of home, class of home, pays the same amount of taxes, okay, based on what their home is. For example, if you and I have the same type of home, but you happen to have 2 bathrooms, I have 3 bathrooms, I'm going to pay more than you. My assessment is going to be higher. But that's based on the value of the home, and that's what the law says. Okay. But this 3-year recertification process usually results in a lot of different changes to the homes. Some of them go up, some of them go down as usual, some stay the same. Given this current market, some of them have had dramatic drops in value. Others have actually gone up in the city. So it's not something that you can say across the board it's all going to happen.
Right.
All right. I think overall you're going to see a little drop in the single-family homes, but there'll be some that have gone down dramatically, and others that will not. Depends on what type of home they are. So the process that we go through requires us to do all this analysis, then present all of the reports to the state. And the Department of Revenue then looks at all our analyses, and they say, this is fine, this measures correctly. And they give us the preliminary okay, and we then publish the values. And this is what I want to get across. Probably sometime in September, early September, we're going to have that preliminary certification. We will be publishing all the values in books outside the assessor's office and at the library.
Okay.
So I want to encourage people to come down, take a look, make sure if they have a question, talk to us now rather than wait till the bills to go out. They have to go through the abatement process.
Will this be available online or only through books in
No,
the
they will
assessors-
not be online because our information doesn't go online until it's finally certified at the very end.
Okay.
Okay,
So this is like a preliminary report, a draft, if you will.
Exactly.
So we're asking people to take the time to either go to the library or come to the assessor's office.
And if they come to the assessor's office with questions, we will have that current data in our computers so we can run the cards so they can make a comparison, make sure we have everything right.
So they can compare what the current value is, what we have as the current value, and what the draft says will be the future value.
Yes, and making sure that the physical attributes of the house are right too. Because even though we've going through the measure and list program, not all homes have been inspected and not all people allowed us in.
Right.
So they responded, so this will give them an opportunity to do that too.
Now, what's the process you go through arriving at values?
What you first have to do is isolate all of the sales that we call arm's length transactions, in other words, market sales, not foreclosures, not court-ordered sales, not family sales, but market sales. They've been put on the market, they've exposed, people buy them, people sell
I
them.
think that's important that you say that, because people will look and say, you know, well, the house next door sold, but it was a foreclosure sale, and they'll expect
right.
that comparable home, but we don't use foreclosure
No.
sales, family sales, because you tend to, with families, they're at a
Right,
discounted rate
and
among
Marlboro's an advantage. We have such an active market that we have sufficient numbers of market sales that we can use for our analysis. The state says you have to have so many,
okay.
and we have no problem with that.
So that's how people
So
determine.
we use those sale prices, and then we break it down by style of home, by age of home, by size of home, by neighborhoods. We have neighborhoods delineated within the community. It was kind of erratic up until this year. We had like 35 neighborhoods established. That goes way back.
Really? Wow.
They used to put neighborhood in a street that was different, and because they put an expensive home, and that's really not the right way to do it. So we culled it out, we corrected it all. We call it our land curve, and we ended up with about 8 neighborhoods now. Makes a lot more sense. Makes a lot more sense. And
I
so-
think it makes it easier for people to be able to understand and compare. And when you're talking about 8 neighborhoods compared to 31.
And in the commercial property, for example, this year we redid our tables so that they now actually are in accordance with what we have for types of properties. So if you have a very large commercial building and then somebody else has a small commercial building, before the rates, the base rates you used to arrive at that were almost identical. And it wasn't right. So I went ahead and we corrected the whole thing. And it's going to mean some people are going to be shocked because a lot of our big buildings were under-assessed. But those corrections are made, and that's why I anticipate some abatements coming in this year where I'll have to sit with people and really explain what's going on.
But the whole point, I think, is that it's fair and equitable
That's the name of the
distribution.
game.
It's
Yep.
fair and equitable. We want to make sure that, you know, we've gone in and done the inspections of the homes to make sure
That's right.
that they're being properly valued. You know, do we have the right number of bathrooms listed? Because I know, you know, a lot of times the homes are valued based on what the plans were submitted when the building
That's
permit was
right.
issued. We all know when you're in the middle of construction, things can change, so we want to make sure that everybody pays their fair and equitable share.
That's the
And it
game.
goes both ways. We don't want somebody to be paying too much, but we want the people that have been undervalued to be paying their fair share.
That's right. The Measure and List program has
Right.
shown that to be the case.
Yep.
We have many, many instances where we remove things from people's
Right.
information because they weren't there.
Right.
And so
So
it
it's just as
corrects
important.
both ways.
It goes both ways.
Absolutely.
We have just a little over a minute to wrap up, but what advice do you have for homeowners going into this? Because this is something, you know, again, the certification year, evaluation year. What advice do you have for our homeowners?
First of all, don't believe what you read as far as market crashing, this and that. Marlboro is in pretty good shape. Yes, we do have quite a few foreclosures and things of that type. But overall, Marlboro's doing as well as some of the better communities around. Secondarily, don't hesitate to ask the question. Pick up the phone and call us. You are not causing a problem. You are not interfering with our job. That's what we do. We're there to help you. And thirdly, if you're a business owner with personal property, we're going to be mailing out impact notices, letting you know what the proposed values are, and you can call to set up, if you think there's a problem, set up a hearing with the company. They've offered to do this gratis to the city. They're going to be setting it up right here in Marlboro. They'll take the calls and set the appointments up. Do not hesitate to come forward and ask. We're there to help. That's the best thing I can say.
And the number for the assessor's office is?
508-460-3779.
3779. So if they have any questions, they can call and
Absolutely,
speak to
anytime. They
anybody
can
in the
walk in
assessor's
if we're
office.
there.
But I think it's really important to tell people that, you know, be proactive, come in, look at the draft at the library,
Right.
and look at the draft in the
Right.
assessor's office.
And if they think that the values are too high, show us proof as to why.
Okay,
Right.
great. Tony, thank you so much for being here
My
and
pleasure.
sharing
Thank
this
you. I
information.
appreciate
Want to
it.
make sure that we keep everybody informed. You've been watching Corner Office. I'm Mayor Nancy Stevens. Thanks for being with us.